What up and welcome to Rama Screen YouTube channel, and here's my review of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Let's rock this. Now, if you saw my initial social media reaction to this film, you would see that it received a lot of pushback, and all because apparently I'm the only film critic on earth who did not like this movie. Everybody else and their grandma are praising this film like it's the second coming Messiah. But not me, not me. Now, if you're expecting me to apologize for my social media reaction, it's not gonna happen. So here's me doubling down. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is this franchise's weakest film. I know, an argument can be made that MI2 was the worst one, and you'd be right to say that. So my counter argument is that this latest installment is now competing for that bottom place. Look, don't get me wrong, the train sequence at the end was terrific. It lived up to the hype, incredibly pulse-pounding. But the action is sparse, the car chase is lackluster, the fights are poorly staged, and the dialogues are mediocre. Writer-director Christopher McQuarrie usually had a good track record of coming up with tension-fueled lines that keep you on your toes, but this time, it's like he dropped the ball or something, and the film's many attempts at humor fall flat. At one point, there was an IMF joke, as in International Monetary Fund. Get it? Get it? Bueller? Really? How long were you sitting on that one? After 20 plus years of this franchise existing, you're finally playing the IMF joke. How is that supposed to be funny? Anyway, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is overly chatty, dull, and underwhelming. But hey, I always give credit where credit is due. Am I not merciful? So stick around to find out what that is. Directed by Christopher McQuarrie in Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Ethan Hunt and his IMF team embark on their most dangerous mission yet, to track down a terrifying new weapon that threatens all humanity before it falls into the wrong hands. With control of the future and the fate of the world at stake, and dark forces from Ethan's past closing in, a deadly race around the globe begins. Confronted by a mysterious all-powerful enemy, Ethan is forced to consider that nothing can matter more than his mission, not even the lives of those he cares about the most. Starring Tom Cruise, Haley Atwell, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Rebecca Ferguson, Vanessa Kirby, Esai Morales, Pom Klementieff, Shea Wiggum, Carrie Elwes, Mark Gatiss, Indira Varma, and Rob Delaney. One positive note that I think this movie does pretty well at is the way it presents the female characters. Played, of course, by Haley, Vanessa, Rebecca, and Pom. I mean, all of a sudden, this whole thing is not just a Tom Cruise show anymore. It's these ass-kicking ladies adding their own spicy flavor. So if I were to ever rewatch this movie again, which I probably won't, I'd probably do it just for another round of Haley, Rebecca, Vanessa, and Pom. Now, back to why I ultimately do not like this movie. Look, when you go screen a Mission Impossible movie, you expect to be taken on some kind of a cardiovascular ride where you're on the edge of your seat almost the entire time. Sadly, that's not the case here. Tom Cruise does a lot of running, of course, nothing new, but some of his running scenes here turn out to be pointless. And I'm like, wow, all that running for nothing? That feels anticlimactic. So with the exception of the motorbike jumping off the cliff, which we've seen 1,000 times on the commercials, and the train sequence at the end, with the exception of those two, the action is few and far between. It leaves me wanting, itching, and aching, but the movie is stingy, and I feel cheated out of what could have been a thrilling, relentless cinematic experience. But Rama, I would rather have a good story than just non-stop action. Well, the AI story in this film, while relevant and timely and topical, is also convoluted. I think the problem has to do with Macquarie trying too hard to make the story more complicated than it actually is. So the result is it becomes a bit of a crutch, and the characters end up over explaining in their long, drawn out deliveries that bore the hell out of me. And you know what? I feel sorry for actor Shea Wiggum, who plays the cop chasing after Ethan, because his always one step behind character just comes off depressing and unintentionally sad. So, yeah, overall, I give Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 the rating of 2.5 out of 5. I do hope that part 2 would be significantly better. Fingers crossed. And if you still don't like my opinion on this movie, does this look like the face that gives a fuck? So that's it. That's my review of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Smash that like button. Share this video with everyone you know. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, subscribe. Let's rock this.